Hey guys, welcome back to another Textile Outdoors video. This here is the doe I shot on opening day. We have a video of that. And today we're going to show you how we get it from this to the frying pan. When we're trying to film these videos, sometimes they can get pretty interesting.
But look at this freaking butt, guys.
There's a fish. Oh, guys, look at this fish.
Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do here is we got this pulley system here with a gambrel, and we're going to get this deer hanging up. So what I like to do is I cut it off right here. Here you can see this kind of, yeah, there's a tendon right here and there's kind of loose skin right here. There's nothing, no bones, no muscle, no nothing in there. And I'm going to cut it off right here above this joint, both legs, and then I'm going to cut this skin out right here, which I can do that right now.
Be careful not to cut that tendon.
Yeah, if you cut that tendon, you're not going to be able to hang it up. But if you just cut through here.
His knife's dull because he already field dressed it with that knife.
There we go. So we got a hole through there, and then do that on both legs, and you can put them through these hooks in the gambrel and hang it up. All right, guys. So we got the legs cut off, and we got these holes hooked in here or cut in here, so you can hook these hooks. If I can find the hole. Right there. And then you're going to spread the leg apart. Sometimes this can be a little tough if the deer's stiff. And then hook it in there. Just like that. Now we're ready. Hoist this up in the air just like this. Alright guys, so now since we got her hanging up, we're going to keep it low like this so we can work up here without having to reach up crazy. And we're going to make a cut from here, the whole way across here, and up to here and connect it. And then we'll be able to pull the skin down and we'll get to that step next. Alright guys, so we cut around here. I forgot to mention that you have to also ring around the legs on each side, but make sure you don't cut this tendon. This is one we were talking about, because if you cut that, your deer won't hang anymore. So cut across here and rung around, and now we're just going to work on pulling it down a little bit, and when we get down to the end of the legs here, we'll get back with it. Alright, we got it skinned down to the bottom of the legs, and if you turn around here, just skinned it off and cut the tail off. That's what that bone is right there. And now the next step is right here. We're gonna kind of make a V right down to the stomach here. And we're gonna keep skinning down, and then we're gonna cut this off after the fact. All right, so we got it skinned down a little bit down here. We took the milk sac out. And just to show you what we're gonna do, we're just gonna skin it the whole way down the body. That's what we're gonna do for the rest of this time here. Just to show you what we're gonna do. You take some of this stuff, and if you pull down, and just slice back, and sometimes it'll get easy enough that you can just grab a hold and just pull down, and it'll just pull off like that. So we're going to do that the whole way down until we get up to these next legs, and we'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, something else I forgot to say about is this little flappy skin right here. You're going to cut that off down until, let me show you here. Kind of skin that off, and it'll give you right up next to the rib cage here. See right there's a rib cage. That's just kind of waste. I mean, it's meat, but it's real fatty and like, I don't know. We just never keep that meat, so we just always skin that part out right there. It makes it a little easier to get in here. And then I'm gonna finish cleaning this out that I couldn't get when I was gutting it in the field. All right, guys. So we got the butthole area and that stuff all cleaned out, and some of the stuff we got here that we left when we were field dressing it in the field. But one thing, these right here, which you can see I nicked this one a little bit, but that's all right, we can still use it. These right here are called tenderloin, or some people call them the fish. and that's the most tender part on the deer. And that's what we're gonna cut out along with some backstrap to cook up here in a couple hours. So make sure you don't cut that up a lot, which I did nick it a little bit, but that's all right. But the next step is this is the diaphragm around the lungs and stuff. You're gonna just kind of slice around that and cut that out, and that'll expose the whole cavity down in here, and you can get the lungs and the heart and the things like that. All right, guys, so we got this skin down, cut the diaphragm out. Now we're down in the cavity here, and you can actually see right here the wound where the arrow came in, and it went down into through all the lungs. But I actually just pulled out, in my opinion, one of the best parts of the deer. And this is the heart. And some people pickle it. We do it in the crock pot with onions. And how long will that sit in there? 8 hours. So you can do it a couple different ways. Some people slice it up, we put it in there whole. But yeah, so that's one of the best chunks of meat. We're gonna finish down here. We gotta get the lungs out yet, and then we're gonna keep skinning this deer down. All right, guys, so we skinned it down the whole way to the legs. And here while we're at it, we'll give you a better look at this wound here. I really sliced her open there. But we're gonna, when we get this leg off, we'll see if it came out the other side and hit that shoulder blade or what. But the next thing you're gonna do here, skin it down here, and you're gonna wanna make a hole right here between the neck and the shoulder blade. And from there, you can just grab a hold of that and start pulling, and it'll pull right off the leg, and skin it down the leg, skin it down the neck. And then when you get to about right here is where I usually cut it off. Now I take the hacksaw and I'll cut that off then, and then we'll get on to the next step. All right, guys, so we skinned it down to the neck and we skinned down the legs, and now we're gonna hacksaw this off right here at the neck, and we skinned it down. I don't know if, come over here, you might be able to see. There's the knee right here where the leg bends, and I cut it off right there at the knee because there's not much meat below the knee, and above it, it's just kind of ligaments, so you can get what you can get out of there. Okay, guys, last two steps here. We're gonna take right here, down the middle of this breastbone, we're gonna take the hacksaw, we're gonna cut that so we can open that up and then spray this all out and get any hairs you got on there or a little bit of the remnants from when you were gutting it. Yeah, so just clean it out and spray it out with the hose here. All right, guys, we got it all washed out and looks nice and clean in there. So now we're gonna start making the cuts of meat out of here. And like I said right here, this is a tenderloin or a fish, and so is this here. So we're gonna cut them out. First thing you wanna do, you wanna trim a little bit of the fat off. And as you can see, we're using a different knife, a good, sharp, clean knife, not one that you gutted with, because you're gonna be eating this meat. So you wanna come in right here next to the spine, and you wanna follow the spine back, just like that. And then you can follow the rib cage here, just like this, and end it down here in the bottom. And then you pick it up at the bottom or the top. Cut it off right there. And then you skin it down just like this. Careful to try not to butcher it up as much as you can. And just like that. That's the fish or the tenderloin, the most tender part on a deer. And we're gonna do the same part over here, and then we'll get back with you. Okay, as you can see, we have the two fish cut off over here. And now we're gonna move to the back of the deer. We're inside here. Now we're moving to the back, and these are gonna be the back straps. First thing you wanna do is cut all this white fat off. You don't want that. That's what, when people complain about meat having real gamey taste, that's because it's fat. And when that's cooked, it has a weird taste. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's because of the fat, that's what makes that. So we're gonna skin this fat off, and then we'll get back with you. All right, so as you can see, we got all this fat trimmed off, the white stuff, and now we're down to the meat here. And to get these back straps, they're actually fairly long, They run from right here, about right in here where the pelvic bone starts, and they run the whole way down into the start of the neck. So to get them, you're gonna run your knife, you can feel the spine here, run your knife right up tight with the spine, just like this. Right up tight with the spine, whole way down there. And make sure you got it the whole way up here. And you're gonna cut it across the top here. Sorry, it's turning on me a little bit. Just like that. Cut back in there, and then you can kind of just fillet this down off of there. Just go with the spine. Lay it down with the spine, all the way down to the neck. You fillet it the whole way back until you can see back here, you're hitting this rib cage. I made a hole right here so you can see. That's what we're cutting away right there. And you're gonna fillet it the whole way back to that rib cage. And then finish making this cut on top. Sorry, I have it swinging a little bit on me. And then this should just pull right off. I slice it a little bit so I don't waste any meat. And like I said, it goes the whole way down into the neck down there. Slice that off. And that's your backstrap. It's a big chunk of meat and it tastes really good. This is part of what we're gonna eat for lunch today. Okay, so we added the backstraps to our pile over here. Both of them cut out. And as you can see, they were big chunks of meat. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna quarter this deer, and we're not actually gonna fully butcher the deer today. We're just gonna cut the meat off the bone and put it in these tubs right here, and then keep it in the fridge. And then tomorrow we're gonna come back, and usually we cut off like some of these legs, these big hams we'll use, and we'll roast them. Or, you know, some people like to cut sections off of the ribs and make ribs. And, you know, you can do a lot of stuff. Some people do neck roasts. There's just kind of an unlimited amount of things you can do with this whole deer. So we're gonna quarter it up. So we're gonna get this leg, the rib cage, and then the two front legs. And let me show you a cool trick here. To get these front legs off, really all you gotta do, come in here, cut this cartilage out, and all there is just a little joint right there you gotta cut, and you can take that whole front leg off with your knife. You don't gotta have a hacksaw, you don't gotta have nothing big, just your knife. So take that whole thing off, and we'll actually look here. I'm pretty sure my broadhead went into this when I shot this deer. Might have been right there. Yep. See that? The blood gushing out of there. So it went in there, hit that bone, and that's why it didn't come out. So we'll quarter this deer up, and we'll get back with you.
Alright guys, so Cody's actually in the middle of cutting up the back strap. We forgot to show you. He's cutting up the back strap now, as you can see. This here is all back strap that he's slicing up to put on the grill. And then he also sliced up the fish here. So this is the fish, there's the back strap. And I think we're gonna make it on a flat top griddle, right, Cody?
Yep.
So he's just cutting it up, and then we'll get back to you when we're seasoning and cooking. Oh, also, forgot here. As you can see, he's leaving that stuff there. That's the silver skin, and there's fat and that and stuff. That's just gonna give it a gamier taste. So he's just leaving that off as well here as he's cutting these cuts of meat. All right, guys, so Cody's got the griddle going, got the butter on there, got some garlic, sea salt, black pepper, and then we got our fish, or backstrap fish, and we're gonna throw her on there soon.
All right, guys. Well, we just took it off the grill, and here I'll come and give you a closer look. We got some backstrap, and this is backstrap, just another, we didn't use the seasoning. And then we got, this is the fish here, and this is the fish we didn't use the seasoning. So we were just experimenting a little bit, but it all looks really good. And we're about to give it a taste test.
Which one first? Fish?
Sure, try the fish first.
That's definitely the most tender part of the deer.
Mm-hmm. By far.
Tenderloin or fish, whatever you want to call it. It's the best part.
Yep.
Well, let's go for some backstrap.
All right.
Backstrap.
A little bit tougher, but
Still good flavor.
mm-hmm.
Don't get much fresher than this.
Mm-mm. This thing was walking around
This morning.
less than 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you learned a little bit about butchering your deer, processing your deer. Kind of, we showed a little bit of everything, even some cooking, some recipes. But yeah, hope you learned something. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at Texas Hall Outdoors. And we'll catch you next time.
On Texas Outdoors.